Hello everyone, my name is Iretiola and you're watching Oge, the show where we celebrate the very best that Africa has to offer. Now, in an ever-changing socio-economic environment, the ability to adapt and reinvent oneself is imperative. Now, there's so many people out there who have great ideas and innovation that will never see the light of day simply because all they see are the challenges, or perhaps they've given in to self-doubt. Today's show highlights the journey of some young Nigerians who took the risk, faced their fears, and today are pioneering a new generation of entrepreneurs. In short, they did it afraid. And here's the thing, if they can do it, you can too. Now, today's show promises to be inspiring and hopefully will open our minds to the immense opportunities that exist out there. So, don't go away. Welcome back. Now, if you're just tuning in, you're watching Oge and my name is still Iretiola. And on today's show, we're talking about doing it afraid. What does that even mean? Omilola Oshikoya is an investment banker who decided to change her life and in so doing has helped other young Nigerians to face their fears and be the very best that they can be.
My name is Omilola Oshikoya and I'm Africa's premier wealth coach. I studied accounting and finance and I worked in investment banking and in accounting for over about 12, 13 years. I had 2 girls at the time. I would wake up really early, go to work and then come home at night. Most times they're asleep. And I was also at the point in my career where it was going to the next level. I knew that if I took that lift to the next level, that's it. It's basically saying bye to my family life. I got to the point where I was like, there's more to life than just making all this money. I began to seek more, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I was also afraid. I don't have a plan B. Yes, I had done various side hustles, but none of it was something I could say I'm leaving investment banking to do. I remember when I was leaving my old workplace, I wrote this farewell email that got people crying. A colleague of mine said, Omilola, you have a gift in writing, explore it. And he said to me, you can do it, just write this Prada bag or a savings plan. And I wrote that article, and today that article has been published more than once. And so that's how my personal finance column started. And then opportunities just started coming. You know, opportunities to come on radio to talk about personal finance, opportunities to come and speak at events, companies like Accenture, Total, different opportunities. Do It Afraid aims to inspire not just millennials, but individuals to face their fears and fulfill their dreams. So our goal is to give people courage, business-minded individuals particularly courage to fulfill their dreams or their entrepreneurial dreams. Entrepreneurship is the engine of any economy. Small businesses is what made America. That is the solution to our problem. But we need to change the mindset of people being job seekers to job creators. A lot of people are in jobs that they do not have any business being in. So we've been trained and programmed to go and take the traditional routes, be a lawyer, be a doctor, be a banker. And this is what has affected the unemployment rate in Nigeria, because everybody is waiting for a vacancy. It's already saturated. There are not enough jobs compared to population. So these people are just waiting and they will never get a job. Whereas some of these people in these companies can actually create jobs. A lot of people have big dreams. They have passions. They have things that they would like to do. But one of the things that stops them is fear. One of them is the fear of failure. What if I fail? Another is the fear of trading security for the unknown. Another is fear of what people will think. And lastly, would I be able to cope financially? And because of these fears, it paralyzes them and it stops them. The difference between successful individuals and unsuccessful individuals is that successful individuals feel the fear, but do it anyway. I realized that it's not a function of that they don't know what they want to do. But it's just a mindset thing. It's the fear thing. When you give them the courage, then they go and then they start. So Do It Afraid basically does that. Right now we've done about 3 events. The conferences are more inspirational. But we also had a workshop, because it's one thing to tell people to, but it's another thing to show them how to. We had a workshop called the Do It Afraid Agribusiness Workshop, where we showcase the opportunities in agriculture. It's amazing the potential in Nigeria.
The founder of Newly Juice, which is Adele Sakwe, was talking, and I got the privilege to ask her some questions, and she was very plain. She said this. She said, first of all, start from your family and friends. Then your friends know exactly what it is. And I was not eager to actually go and start bothering people about my business. But immediately I heard that and I listened to her. It birthed a new thing in me, birthed a new idea in me, and I went back, re-strategized, and I was able to raise funds for my own fish farm business.
One thing I gained from the conference was how can I say? I would say confidence, just to start. You know, I describe myself as a confident person anyway, but one thing I noticed is that you can be confident and you're confident in what you're currently doing, what you currently know, but something that you don't know, that confidence doesn't always come about. So with that, you just find that you can just start and do it. It can't be that bad, you know. And we did, so we did it afraid.
Typically, people will think to be in agriculture, I have to be a farmer. But what they don't realize is that there's an entire value chain across the whole agribusiness industry. You can either be in storage or in transportation or packaging or branding. You actually do not have to be a farmer. If I could do one thing to fix Nigeria, it would be to get people to fulfill their God-given dreams. My advice to young Nigerians is that you shouldn't waste your time on social media just complaining and abusing our leaders. There's so many opportunities now. So many people are doing amazing things, and we're going to see the next set of millionaires. And those millionaires are the people that see the opportunities and seize the opportunities. My second advice is do it afraid. No matter, dream big, but then do it. Just do it. You only have one life. You're young. What's the worst that can happen? And so what if you fail? Then you get up again and you start again. But just do it. I will never give up. One of our problems in this country, especially with our youths, is that we want things quickly. A microwave generation, we want everything to happen fast. But there is a process with everything in life. And a lot of people give up in the process. But what they do not realize is that the process is what gives them muscles for greatness. I wouldn't give up on my process. I would trust and embrace my process. Style for me is personal. What makes you comfortable? My personal philosophy is that the sky is just the beginning.
Hey, it won't always be easy, and nobody ever said that there won't be challenges, but you know that every great journey begins with that first step. Now, since granting us this interview, Omilola has gone on to publish a book titled The Richer Woman, A Woman's Guide to True Wealth. It's a fantastic book. I recommend it. Go get your copy. Now, we'll be back after the break, and we'll be sharing more stories of young Nigerians who have taken their future into their hands. Now, unless you've been living under a rock over the last year or two, you must have heard of Arese Ugwu's Smart Money Woman movement that is literally taking over the African continent. Now, she's using her platform to teach millennials and any other smart person who cares to listen how to manage money and create wealth. And she's doing it in a very innovative manner.
My name is Arese Ugwu. I am the founder of smartmoneyafrica.org, which is basically a personal finance platform tailored to the African millennial. I have a first degree in business and management from Aston Business School in Birmingham. I have a master's degree from University College London in development economics. And I've done several executive education courses in INSEAD, Abu Dhabi, London Business School, Lagos Business School. I think the biggest financial mistake that Africans make in general is we tend to measure our financial success based on how much we earn as opposed to how much we're able to keep and grow. So we're taught from a very young age that is about to become financially successful, we need to make money. But we're not taught how to, in any formal framework, how to keep it or grow it. So people don't measure their financial success based on their net worth. They measure it based on their salary or the income that they get from their business, which is the wrong measurement. Because when we're looking at people on the Forbes list and we're saying, oh, this person's the richest man in Africa, what we're looking at is their net worth, so their assets minus their liabilities, as opposed to how much they earn. So I think that mismatch causes us to think about money the wrong way around. So the guaranteed end result for that kind of lifestyle is that you become a revolving door for your money, because the mindset is always, you know what, as long as I make more money, I'll be fine. It doesn't matter if I spend it all. But the reality is, even if you make 100 million naira a month, if you spend 100 million naira a month and you don't have anything in terms of assets that you're building on the side to fall back on, for the time when you're no longer productive and can't work how you're working now, you'll be broke. So essentially what I'm saying is people need to understand that a proportion of their income needs to systematically be set aside to build assets that will provide them with an income, a passive income that they can rely on in the future. For example, somebody can say, I earn 100,000 naira a month now, so it's not enough for me to save and invest anything because I don't have a lot of money, I have a lot of expenses. But then what happens is when they get promoted and they start to earn, say, 500K a month, nothing changes because essentially their consumption tends to rise to meet their income. So if you can't learn to save and invest when you have 10 naira, you're never going to learn to save and invest when you have 10 million. Saving is definitely a lifestyle choice. It's like dieting. You can't say, oh, do you know what, when I get to a certain point or when I hit, I will save and invest. It has to be systematic, whether you earn a little or whether you earn a lot. I used to work in financial services. I managed relationships with a lot of high net worth individuals when it came to their investment portfolios. Along the way, I realized that there was no one speaking to young people, especially in a language that they understood about personal finance or about financial education. I felt like there was a gap in financial education in Africa. It started with one article on Bella Niger called A Chanel Bag versus a Stock Portfolio. And I think the response that I got from that, because at first when I put it out, I was like, who cares? But then it turned out that people cared. And you know, I've just found creative ways to put that message out there. So whether it's video, whether it's articles, whether it's about creating financial content in a way that is relatable to young Africans. I wrote a few articles on Bella Niger, then got the idea to start an online platform talking about personal finance. And when I launched that platform, smartmoneyafrica.org, my friend said to me, Arese, you know, the next thing you need to do now is write a book. At the time, I thought it was crazy, but you know how it is when someone just plants an idea in your head and it's like, it becomes like this burning thing in you and you keep thinking, okay, actually, if I did this, what would it look like? So I began to think about the type of books that I would like to read, and I generally read two types of books. Chick lit, so books about, you know, about the modern woman, and you know, business books. So the Smart Money Woman is basically a combination of both. I really wasn't sure if it was going to take, if people would get it or they would just think, what's this? But I've loved the response from all the people who have read it and the impact that it's had on their financial lives. Was it challenging? It was definitely very challenging. So I used to whisper it. I wasn't confident enough to say it out loud. But now, with the phenomenal response that the book has gotten, I can now say, yes, it is a movement. Self-publishing in Nigeria is hard because we don't have the structures in place to sort of put a book out and make it have the impact that you want it to have, because there are no clear distribution channels. We don't have publishing houses that will say, oh, take a $50,000 advance, take a year to go and write this book, and then we'll market it for you. And we don't have distribution channels that are nationwide, like Barnes and Noble or Waterstones. So you basically have to get creative about the way that you're doing it. I had been told that, Nigerians don't read, you can't be commercially successful writing a book. The best thing it can do for you is build your brand. But I'm very impact driven, but I'm also a capitalist at heart. So I'm not going to spend a year and a half doing something that's not going to be commercially successful. When people pose problems or obstacles to me, the way my mind works is, okay, how do I get around that? I like to see myself as a problem solver. All things that we complain about, all the different obstacles, those for me, if you turn it the other way around, they're opportunities for you to create value. My own thing is like opening my eyes to what those opportunities are and thinking about what my skill sets can help me solve. The wealth lessons are the same whether you're young, whether you're old, whether you're a boy or a girl. It doesn't matter. It's not gender specific. How you keep money, how you grow money, the pain points are the same. Budgeting, debt, getting out of debt, investing is universal. Sometimes we think that the government that we have is made up of ghosts or machines. They're actually made up of people who came from this society, and the way we've been socialized to think about money is reflected in the way that our governments run our economy. We don't plan for the long term. We need a government that understands that our resources are limited. So in times of prosperity, they need to be setting aside funds so that we have some kind of financial cushion in times of recession. I think that we spend on expenditure. We don't spend for growth. We don't spend, to develop other industries. We don't spend on infrastructure that can make it easier for businesses. And those are things, the type of long-term things that we need to be thinking about. I think that the contemporary Nigerian woman could be the smart money woman because she's very entrepreneurial in her thinking. I think that these days you meet young women who are so creative when it comes to solving problems, who are very driven, but we've learned how to make money to a certain extent, but what I'd like to see is how we can keep that money and grow it. It would be promoting a financial literacy message so that we can change the African narrative of poverty. I would never give up, regardless of the obstacles that are thrown my way. Style is self-expression. I think it's important for you to be comfortable in what you're wearing. And I think it is important to do only things that your income can support. There are 3 things that can impede your success. So I think the first thing is not being authentic. So I find that in Nigeria, we tend to have a copy and paste mentality when it comes to ideas. And I think that can impede your success because even if there are no new ideas, you have to add your Maggi and salt and what makes you special to the equation for you to be successful at it. If you just say, oh, this person is doing really well in this field, say event planning, so I'm going to go and become an event planner, and you want to do it exactly the way someone else does it because it's not your vision, because there's no authenticity, I think it makes it easier for you to fail at that. The second thing is a lack of execution. So we also think that having bright ideas is what makes a good business or what will make you successful. But I think that if you don't focus on execution, how you're actually going to make that idea happen, how you're going to implement it, you can fail because people have ideas every day, but when you fail to execute them, you're kind of putting yourself at risk to not be successful at it. The third thing is a lack of tenacity. So Nigeria can be a very difficult place. No, who am I kidding? It is a very difficult place to do business. But I think that you have to just come with the mindset that, adversity builds character, that obstacles are just a part of life, and you have to learn how to overcome them, as opposed to allowing them to like put you down or stop you achieving your goals. My personal philosophy is pray like you don't work and work like you don't pray.
Trust me, after a certain age, being broke is no longer cute. Now, Arese has managed to break down financial information and education in a language that is simple and easy for everyone to understand. Take advantage of it. Since granting us this interview, Arese Ugwu has taken her smart money message all across the African continent and has created innovative ways to send this message across. She's doing great things. Now, do yourself a favor. Grab yourself a copy of the book. Take charge of your finances, and by so doing, take charge of your life. So we come to the end of today's show. Now remember, the only thing holding you back is you. Do you have an idea? Is there something you want to do? Break it down into manageable sizes. Get information. Take it one step at a time. Do it. Do it afraid. That's it on today's show. Now, till I come your way again, let's stay safe and let's be kind to one another.